Hi, welcome to Terra Novos. This is Volgarenthor. With me today I have Luke7396, Halo Freak 1994, and Inferno Hero 222. Rolling on the cameras Kappa, and we have Trollmertz in the Hole of Shame. Today we're going to be covering a few things about Terra Novos. Right now we're currently at the spawn area. Coming into the server, you'll find yourself basically in a fallout shelter underneath this fortress area, and you have to make your way up to the surface, where you will be able to move into the world as an actual player. Our theme is currently post-apocalyptic with a medieval steampunk, and you can kind of differentiate between the two. It doesn't really matter. We're not really super strict on what you can do here. We are a role-playing server. Most of our older players are going to be heavy role players. Most people that come into the server, while not expected to be heavy role players, are expected to be basically in character while they're here. So basically light to moderate role play. It really just depends on what you're comfortable with. Moving on, this is our spawn town, also known as Valinark. So it's basically a fortress bunker city because there was a war 30 years ago, a nuclear war, started by the Shinra, my faction. Ha ha ha. And essentially, the world is one gigantic PvP zone. So essentially, when you make your way into the world, you have several things you can do. You can either join up with a couple of the pre-existing factions, there's a druid faction, there is a steampunk type mechanical faction, there's a builder faction, and there's also the evil corporate faction, which would be mine. Hell bent on killing everyone and destroying everything. So lots of PvP fun. We also have several dungeons and several raids spread throughout the world as well. Most of them tailored for 2 to 4 man teams. The couple raids that we do have are 6 to 10 man teams. We also did a raid video, a live raid, several nights ago actually, of the Fortress of the Damned. And if you watch that video, you can see that we kind of got our asses handed to us. So the stuff is pretty difficult, and it's a lot of fun. So basically, you come into the game, you start off. There's a couple permissions that some of the basic ranks that have. You can get a couple kits. There's a home kit that'll start you off with a few things like some logs and some coal, a few pieces of glass, and some wood as well. And there's also a toolkit that'll allow you to have tools like right off the bat. So you can either choose to go into the wilderness and try to make it on your own. Looking around, looking over your shoulder every step of the way, just wondering if someone is going to come up and kill you, and not really knowing the difference or not. Or, like I said, you can join up with one of the pre-existing factions. Our server is actually a map that has been terraformed. It has no resources on the surface whatsoever, except for a few areas located throughout the map that we have called Oasis. There are several areas around the map that have plenty of dirt, with lots of trees, lots of resources spread among them. But mostly everything, if there's anything at all, is going to be located below layer 30. So you actually have to dig and get stuff instead of just wondering, okay, I have all this stuff, what do I do with it? So it essentially brings it together more like a survival server, and more than anything else. We also have several towns that are essentially like leftover or abandoned towns from the role-played war 30 years prior, and everything's kind of been a nuclear winter since then. So everything's sort of trying to come back right now. Right here we have a road that's leading out from Spawn Town. I don't know where it goes. I'm guessing it might be leading to Midgar. I'm not sure.
Super
But,
duper Mark.
Actually lead to anywhere as Corp.
It might lead
oh,
to
wonderful. Nice. So you haven't finished it yet. Wonderful. Anyways, essentially, yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff that we have here. We are a Technic server, a Technic multiplayer server, so basically Tech-It. It combines all of the critically acclaimed and award-winning mods and plugins together under one server for multiplayer play. And you can make stuff like nuclear reactors. I mean, you can make nano armor, which is like really cool stuff. Laser rifles. You can have dynamite. There's really no end to the amount of stuff that you can do. There's thousands and thousands of new blocks and IDs, and all of it is attainable, and all of it is craftable in game. So, well, with the exception of a few things, because they're in the essence of PvP and RP. They would sort of kind of break.
Nukes.
Nukes, yeah, we turn nukes off because nukes are extremely devastating. And so, yeah, I mean, we're coming up here on the Super Mart, which apparently is a super food store. I have no idea what it is. I guess it's it's supposed to be like a dungeon or something. I'm not entirely sure.
Seems like
It looks,
Walmart to me.
it looks kind of, oh, Walmart. Yeah, let's go ahead and compare it to Walmart.
I know, right?
Just a quick notification. I am butchering things as we go along, so just be careful of the mobs.
Yeah, we are this isn't a normal server. This is actually a difficult server for survival. So, most people will find themselves. Oh, there's monster spawners in here. Goody.
Yeah, joy.
Most people will find themselves essentially unable to cope. So you'll have to kind of figure out how to play now instead of just like derping around like most normal servers allow you to do, because they're not very hard at all, while fending yourself off from players wanting to kill you and all this other very, very fun stuff. So this is the Super Mart. Looks like
The
it's
conveyor belts.
one of the dungeons or something very fun. This is conveyor belts. These are really cool. You can put items on these and they go down the conveyor belt. So it's kind of like cash registers. Actually, that's exactly what it looks like. It's a cash register.
Yeah, the chests are
That's
cash
exactly
registers
what
that
it
got
is.
credits in them.
Well, the hell.
I actually don't know what the credits are, really.
They're just a currency item.
All right.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's an in-game currency item too called industrial credits, and whereas most of the server will never use these, my faction, which is the new Shinra of Neo Midgar, we use these as kind of like a bartering item, and they're actually worth something to us. So we have the server's economy, money, and then we have our industrial credits as well. But yeah, it looks like this is a pretty cool place that he's got going on here. It's like a Safeway / Supermart or something like that.
If you could light it up, it'd be a good base.
I think it might be a little dangerous for people to come in. Maybe
Yeah.
a good thing to mention is that around the whole of Terra Nova, what you might find is there are a lot of places like this that are actually abandoned or in some way destroyed, which will be filled with mob spawners, and they're basically, in essence, a dungeon. So they're dangerous, but they
Should we
hold
mention-
they hold a lot of benefits at the same time.
Should we mention